All right, you guys, welcome to another one. We got a 1974 Toyota Celica. That's right, a Toyota Will It Run. I know some people don't like the Will It Run dub thing, but is this gonna be scrap metal or a runner driver or just a parts car? There's definitely some good usable parts on this. I bought it for $300, so you can't go wrong. Come on. It's been sitting here for a long while. He said it did, well, he's told it ran when it was parked. And you know, there's how sunken the tires are, so that'll tell you roughly. Those, what are these, super belt tires. These 70s Toyotas were notoriously reliable and notoriously rust prone. These things rotted out really bad. That's probably why you don't see a lot of them. Wow, look at the door. That is just perforated. So, you know, what's this thing? Full of junk too? See a hubcap right there? Oh my gosh, it's completely packed with stuff. All right, well, I have a little bit on the property today. Schedule's been crazy. So my goal right now is to pull it out with the winch, and then I'll probably get a trailer in here, because otherwise it's really tight back here. Not going to be able to get a roll back. Maybe the wrecker, but of course with the wheels are going to be locked up, so that's not going to work unless you have some dollies. He's kind of sitting here soaking up the beauty. We are toward the end of October, 81 degrees today, phenomenal weather. Look at all these blocks he has. Man, you could build a whole shop with all these. He's even got the glass ones. Check that out. Oh, these are old school. This is cool. I mean, I don't know what he wants for them, but the property's not for sale at the moment, but maybe one day. It's a pretty neat little commercial property here. You know, it's kind of just peppered with all sorts of gems. Well, let's get on with the attack plan. We're gonna go boom, snatch block to the tree and back to the Tundra with the 12K Harbor Freight winch. Oh, that's a nice crane. Very heavy duty. Oh, it's mounted on here too. Lift gate. Pretty sweet. Big old service truck, big compressor. You know, this winch, as I've said in previous videos, it's been in 10 feet of water and it still works great. So, decent winch. Of course, I dried it out. Tree saver too, so we don't destroy the tree. I'm pretty rusty, but structurally looks like it's not going to be ripping in half. I'll just try hooking on one side of these eyelets, and I don't have a good V-chain to go across it at the moment. I'm gonna have to mow over these trees with the cable. Hopefully he didn't care about those. I think they're just kind of shrubbery trees. And I rerouted it because I actually don't know if he cares about these trees, and what are we using the tree saver for? You know, what are we doing here? Trying to preserve the trees. So here we go. I'll stand out of the death zone. Put a little load on that now. I guess let me cut these shrubs down too, because these are... What's up, Ed?
Need anything?
No, should be good. I didn't know if you cared about these trees at all. I scraped up a couple of them, but then I rerouted it, so...
The only thing I care about, see that little dark green thing?
Yes.
That's a holly bush. That's the only thing.
Oh, okay.
One there.
Oh, this guy. Yep, I see it. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I didn't notice that.
Well, my son wants that.
Okay.
My little boy, 6'2", 240. Little boy.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I'll be good. It should roll, so, you know. Well, it's not gonna roll, but it should drag. I think I got a Sawzall in here. And by the way, I've seen some comments lately. People are like, why are you only using the Ram and not your Tundra anymore? Well, this is kind of why. It's just a pile of, I mean, it's really a wreck in here. I want to get a utility body for this truck, or like have someone custom make one, since it's a weird size. And I've just been avoiding organizing this because, yeah, that's So that's why the Ram's organized and it's nice to work out of. There's the plates. The axe. Gotta say though, this Tundra over the Ram for getting in tight areas, the bomb. It certainly has its place. Mid-size truck, you know, it's not a compact, it's not full size. Yeah, right. Look at that. I cannot believe the tires have air in them right now. It's unbelievable. Okay, no, they don't. They're just kind of stout. Rear's locked, but the front's rolling. I mean, for all I know, it's in gear. Wonderful. So now we just got to figure out how to make this angle without destroying anything, including the holly. I think at some point soon we can just pull it straight. Luckily, you know, if it was rotted out more, this wouldn't be a thing. Oh, is it the fuel fill? Cool. I've never actually seen one of these Celicas. I think it's the fuel fill, right? In person. So this is pretty neat. It'll be a good learning experience and test the durability of these units. Of course, for all we know, it was parked for a blown engine or transmission's out of it or blown or whatever. You know, I don't really have any story except for it ran and drove when it was parked. Why was it parked? Don't know. And that tree saver did some tree saving. Instead of putting a chain around that or a cable.
Guy told me he rebuilt the engine.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha. And then, is there a reason he got rid of it or what?
He had too many cars.
I see. And so you bought it off him or you just gave it to you?
Bought it off.
Gotcha. Do you remember it having all these rust holes when you parked it? No. That just happened from sitting. Gotcha.
Same way with the hood.
How?
The hood, that wasn't there either.
You said you have a title for it too?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I had
that's a rarity.
Several Celicas, and this one I think is the one.
Okay, cool. 74. Yeah, we'll check out the VIN. That'd be neat. Yeah, there's the VIN tag. A lot of corrosion on it. That means the interior's been taking water on over the years, probably. I was just chatting with him about this 63 Riviera. It's got the 401 nail head, he said. Last inspected, 92. Said it ran 8 years ago. Ran and drove into this spot, but you know, I'm not sure. Sometimes timelines, 8 years can be more like 15 or 20 from my experience. But yeah, if this is something you guys like to see on the channel, let me know. It's pretty rusty, you know, pretty nasty, but could be a fun one to try to revive and find a new buyer. 3,500 he wants for it, I think. So I don't know, it's quite a bit, but there could be a good market on the side. Don't know myself. Perfect. Oh, how about that? I would have thought this thing ripped in half. We are parts galore in here. This thing is stacked. And we have a key. How about that? Manual transmission, I like to see it. Be all sorts of goodies in here. This is gonna be probably the funnest part of the video, is digging through, seeing what's trash and where the gold is, right? Oh no, I forgot about the holly plant. Tell me I ran it over. Oh, that close. Oh man. All right, that's out enough. Now I gotta go get the trailer. It's just a little too tight back there in a 20-foot trailer. That's gonna be a job for the wrecker. And even if we can't get the air of the tires to tow it all the way home, then I'll just have to go back with the trailer. It's not very far, so. Yard driving. Now I've got the steering wheel tied off in an unconventional way. Parking brake's off and it is in neutral. Yep. So let's see, maybe his rear brakes will break loose. Too bad I couldn't just get the rollback back here easily. I saw we had a rolling wheel in the mirror, and I didn't see on this side. Ooh, that's that's not gonna be okay. Let's get the rollback. Now it's tight quarters like that where this truck, it shines. If you guys remember a while back, I did that F Super Duty tow truck wrecker, and that was a nice truck, but it was a lot longer, and it's good for heavy duty jobs, but just not the tight quarter stuff. Now, even if I had a set of dollies, I don't think I'd want to tow that Toyota down the road with this. That's got to be on a flatbed for safety reasons. You know, you'll get stopped out here. This truck's really only good for local jobs anyway, because it doesn't have overdrive. Yes, we could switch that out, but realistically, I'd rather just hold on to this until maybe I run into a nice 4x4 wrecker in the future. See, we got to clean this windshield. It's pretty bad. So until then, this one gets it done. And speaking of turning radius and tight quarters, this one is not ideal for that at all. With the sleeper on there and the straight axle front suspensions, just, it's like, give me 40 acres and I'll turn this rig around. Now over 15 years, and that's the first time I've actually hit my house. Ripped the siding off there in the corner. Son of a peach. So I'm saying with this truck, the long wheelbase, like with my Ram there, I mean, yes, swing it as wide as you can, and that's it. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll let you know. A little crooked, but I'll get her strapped down.
5-speed.
Yeah, that's cool how I've never seen a car that actually says 5-speed on it. How about that? They're advertising like GT 5-speed. I guess because back in the 70s, a lot of these cars were 4-speeds too. It's been a long while talking to Matt. Lots of good stories. Trying to get him to sell other things, but he's not quite ready. He did let the Toyota go cheap, so, you know, told him, let me know when you're ready to sell that K100 or the Freightliner. It's tough, you know, some of these guys, there's a reason they end up with so much because they don't want to let it go. So hopefully I don't become that way. I try to let things go if I'm not using them. I can't blame them because I'm kind of the same way, but I would like to think that when I get into, you know, my older years, golden years, 80s and such, unload that stuff so you don't leave it for the rest of your family, you know, just because it ends up turning into junk. Now we got Mr. Turbo here. Let's see what he thinks of the Celica. This thing came from a kitty cat property with like 30 cats on it. What do you think? Oh, he's like, oh wait, that does smell interesting. It's so funny seeing him sniff cars that come from cat properties. Yeah, what is that? What is that, buddy? Some other killers, huh? Thinking to myself, why did I even unload this? Right off to the scrapyard is where it should go, but maybe not, you know? Let's get these parts out here, see what we got, get it cleaned up, get some pictures, see if we get it running, maybe get a buyer. That is the plan. So he said these are all 71 to 74 Celica parts. Man, it just keeps going. Unfortunately, laying all this on these seats completely ruined them. Drive shaft. That's in good shape. Almost brand new. Here's what we ended up with, all that crammed inside. So I'll look up a few of these parts to see if there's any high ticket items. Otherwise, I think I'll throw this up for, you know, $200-300 bucks, and somebody restoring one of these cars, this stuff could really come in handy. Wait a second, we forgot to look in the trunk. Of course, there's more parts. He ran out of room in here, so he started putting them in the car. Okay, get this stuff listed now. That was the extra pile of good stuff in the trunk. Guys, real quick, I got a brief word about the sponsor of this video, OnePack.com and their Power One Heavy Duty Hand Soap. I've been using this soap for several months now, and I am genuinely blown away by it. Other soaps would always dry my hands out, leave cracks, but it seems the longer I use Power One, the more they feel nice and soft. It's all natural, doesn't have solvents in it that tend to dry your skin, and it uses cosmetic grade walnut shells to scrub away the dirt. The best part is a little goes a long way. I mean, that's enough. Like, this stuff isn't watered down like Gojo over there. I'm telling you, I'm not making it up, guys. I'm trying to do this one-handed here, but that little squirt with a little water in there too, that is all you need. Comes in a few different sizes. This is the 120 fluid ounce with the wall mount, and then you get the 13 ounce or a 3 ounce. Look how clean those hands are. So I still have soap on them. But guys, Power One is an exclusive product of One Pack LLC over in Edison, New Jersey. If you don't believe me, go to onepack.com and try this soap out. I'm telling you, go comment in the future. Let me know how you like it. You're gonna love it. It smells good, it cleans your hands, it leaves them soft. Clean hands. Let's get back to the video. Let's pop this hood, see what we're looking like. Oh, this has actually got hinges up here. So it's a rearward, which is good because I saw it was sticking up. I was thinking, oh, the hinges must be messed up. But, oh, yeah, it's going right off. I'm gonna shoot a little lube on those first though. Let's see what this rebuilt engine is all about. All right, those hinges are still good. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We got some major nestage. Wow. This is probably squirrels or something coming in here. I mean, that's a lot of material. You see our clutch masters just full of rust. And I mean, otherwise, looking all complete and untouched, which it's always nice when it's this way because, you know, that keeps the people at bay who comment and say this stuff's all staged. It's like, come on now. I think these come with a 20R engine from what I was reading before, but you know, I'm not too familiar, so I guess that's what it is. Got air conditioning. It's pretty cool. Nice looking pump on there. High quality. Easy access to the starter. One plug wire off. That's all needed. Throw a battery in and go, right? I mean, sometimes that's how these things roll, you know? I mean, oh yeah, no moisture up top. These are great engines, these old Toyotas. Can't beat them. I had a 22RE in my 89 Toyota pickup. Such an awesome engine. That was actually one of the first ones I rebuilt, and you know, did it all. Probably could have bought a reman for cheaper. Oh, that is nasty in there. Ooh, there's actually nesting. You see that in there? The upper rat hose is just missing. So critters living inside the brass radiator. That's unbelievable. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm starting to think it was something other than a critter, like maybe this had a mound of dirt laying against it. Oh, look at that guy. Big old black spider. That's a good preliminary cleaning. See if the air filter's in place or if the rodents chewed through it. Sweet. It is in place, and it actually has the steel mesh on the inside instead of the outside. Usually you see it on the outside, but nobody came in here. Little 2-barrel, not all corroded in there. Looks pretty good. It's got a sight glass on the side of it. That's pretty cool. You don't see that on carburetors very often. It's empty. And you'll notice the fuel inlet is disconnected, so somebody was in here messing with this. I guess we'll start by popping these plugs out, bore scoping the cylinders. Got iron block, iron head, core plugs not rotted through. Big old honking oil filter that looks like it hadn't been changed in 30 years. All right, so update on all these parts. Ray over here is the new owner. He came, gave me a very reasonable number, but he knows what this stuff is worth. And I mean, this was like a jackpot for, you work on a lot of these older Toyotas?
Oh, yeah. All the times, yeah.
Cool. So he was saying these 2 flat lights alone, 500 bucks, he said, is probably what these will sell for. So this is, it was a gold mine. I got a very reasonable price. I don't have to part it all out, so. Good. I can't believe how much interest. I put this up for $750 and I got a ton of people interested in this car. One guy offered me 600 bucks and he said he just wanted to come take some parts and I could keep the car. Like apparently these grills up front, like you can't even see it. This one's pretty rusty, but these can sell for, actually that one's rusted through. They sell for like $700 if they're in good shape. Wild. The parts market on these is wild. I mean, with the parts we already sold, I could haul this to the scrapyard right now, and I mean, we did really good. Like at this point, it's almost diminishing returns, but let's see if it'll run. Pop these plugs out. I don't recall if I mentioned or not, but I did go back and get the title off of Matt, and it doesn't match this car. The VIN's different, so I do have a 74 Toyota title, just don't match. Ooh, yeah, some corrosion. Here's a look at all four. Definitely got some rust on them. Let's take a look. On number one, oh, we got a nice crosshatch pattern with some surface rust, so that would make sense. He said the engine was rebuilt. Look at that. Number two, same deal, just a little bit of surface rust. And same on number three. We got some cobwebs in number four. Somebody made that at home. But otherwise, yep, just surface rust on those walls. So we'll get them sprayed and cranking over. Show a little Marvel mystery down each one. Oof. Look what's inside the rad. Just rust. The entire lower radiator hose is completely packed with it. All right, here we go. Budge her over. There it is. Yeah. Scrape that rust off the cylinders. Ooh. A little tight spot there. I'm gonna pull a valve cover off and see if these valves are moving. Boy, would you glance at that. This thing is clean inside. Double roller timing chain. This definitely had a rebuild. I remember pulling the valve cover off an '89 Toyota pickup I had. I just bought it. It had 75,000 original miles on it. And when I drove it home, it had no heat. It wasn't getting up to temperature. I didn't think too much of it. I said, I'll just put a thermostat in. But when I pulled the valve cover off to do a valve adjustment, you couldn't even see this spring. You couldn't see any of this. It was just covered in sludge. I ended up doing a full rebuild on it because it just bothered me so much. But that stuff had caused a lot of wear inside the engine. Like this whole shaft, this rocker shaft was completely grooved. So probably had low oil pressure and such. But yeah, so we just wanted to check and make sure we're not getting any hung up valves when we rotate this over. Oh, yes. We do have a stuck valve. Ooh, hopefully I didn't already bend that. So I'm gonna spin this back. No, I don't think so. That's just the valve squeaking in the guide there, which could mean that it's already bent. That's why it's not going up and down. Let's see where this piston is. Okay, it's not all the way up. Give her a tap. You don't want to come back up. There it goes. Okay, got that one moving. See if we got any others. Oh, this guy right here. This is solid, and I have all the pistons in the middle right now, so I can wheel on this. Oh wow, that don't really want to go. So I'm really glad I pulled this valve cover off, and it was of course easy to access, but they're all moving except for this one is locked solid. And as I just rotated the engine over, we get a ton of resistance. It's actually going to want to break this rocker off. It cannot get past that, cannot open it. So now that I have some resistance on there, I'm going to whale that with the hammer. Whale it. It does not want to go. This calls for a brass hammer. Okay, it moved. And it's all the way down now. So since it's down, I think I'm gonna, since that valve is open, actually both those are, we have all that lube in the cylinder, I just blew in so we can get that to get up on the valve stem. Look at this, as I'm blowing into these cylinders, getting that lube over. See what I see? Massive intake leak. Wow, that's not gonna be good. Yeah, I can see it's just this huge gap between the manifold. So, it kind of has to be addressed before it runs. Several revolutions later, they're all moving. You can hear some of them snapping as they're a little delayed coming back up. But I'd say that's good enough to crank it over. For all I know, this is a non-interference engine anyway, which would mean that even if one of them is stuck open, piston's not going to hit it. All right, I got a jump battery in there. Let's crank this over, plugs out, see what it does. Oh, that sounded good. Throw the plugs in so I don't get sprayed in the face here. Drop this valve cover back on. That's, you can tell it's been sitting a long time too. It's completely dry in here. Here we go. I don't like it. In fact, I wonder if that's why it was parked. Fresh rebuilt engine, probably had it running and then something happened. And the fact that it has that massive intake leak, like I mean, that seems like an oversight when somebody was building it, that there's no like massive corrosion there causing it to balloon out, or corrosion jack, we'll call it. That popping noise, it's not a good sound. We did bust the claim of this ran when parked. No, it didn't, because the fuel line was off. This is unbolted, the EGR or whatever that is. Well, on this badly leaking manifold, we're missing the bottom bolt, which I just checked does have threads. Got one started. Missing this top, hard to reach as well. Let's get those in, see what it sounds like. Okay, that one's good. I got that intake sealed up a little better with 2 bolts. Let's hear it. I don't like that knocking noise, but at least we're not blowing smoke or steam, whatever you want to call it, mist out of the intake tubes. I'll just push this inside. I'll get it up in the air, get some pictures, because I'm starting to feel like time investment is just, we're getting diminishing returns at this point. I got a few interested guys. They want to see some pictures of the underneath. Let's see if it's completely rotted or solid. Okay, just taking a quick glance. I mean, structurally, this thing's actually beautiful. I can't believe how good that looks compared to the rest of the car. Like, you guys seen the way the frame rails looked on the 67 Mustang that I still have to get back on. I know I kind of been slacking on that project big time. A little bit of pinion seal leaking. Yeah, I mean, I'll snap some pictures of this underneath. Get those out to the guys that are interested. Oh yeah, we are missing the exhaust, huh? So that would have been loud if we do fire it up. Still gonna try to do that, but we got brass freeze plugs in. Oh, another bolt that dropped out of the, if you can see it up there, out of the exhaust and intake. That trans right there, wow, that's beefy for this little 4-cylinder. I mean, come on, that thing's tough. I got a better battery hooked to this now and pulled the plugs back out. Listen to that crank. and hear the knocking. Let's find out what's making that noise. I did put my finger over each plug hole, and we got plenty of compression on each cylinder. Oh yeah. So the noise. By the way, I don't recall if I showed you guys, we do have plenty of oil on the dipstick. Gus, I hear you barking up there. What are you doing? You want to go inside? You're such an inside dog, you are. Okay, go get it. Oh, all that noise is the timing chain tensioner. It's because it didn't pump up with oil yet. So I don't know if you can see it down there, but it's just flopping back and forth. Once it gets oil pressure, it'll probably get better, but you can see we are getting oil flow up here. I don't know if you see. So let's crank that a little longer. It should go away once it pumps up. Wow, yeah, ton of oil flow up top. Plenty of flow, but then all the way on the end, definitely not even getting the drip out of that one. It was dripping a minute ago. Of course, once it's running, that'll be another story. And that's quieting down now as it gets pumped up. Look at that chain picking up the oil. All right, now that we see that is good, let's try to get some spark so we can maybe fire this up. Yep, points. Well, shooting oil in there. Now I'll file that corrosion off and we'll give it a go. After filing, it's basically where it needs to be. For the negative wire coming off, that is broken. So we'll just run that straight over. And I got power at the coil and it's pulsing ground, so we should have good spark. And we do. We got firing order 1342 and some fuel. Here we go. See if the carburetor takes. Oh, was that seeping? It's taken and level coming up to the top of the sight glass, and we have, oh, that's me leaking there, but seems the float has sealed. Never mind, our floats are not sealing. See, it's coming out of the vents. Give that a little tap. Nope, not gonna happen. Well, at least it's primed up now, more than enough. Oh man, I think the carburetor's probably gunked up because it wants to go with starting fluid, but not on fuel. On a positive note, after starting it, tapping the carb a few more times, I did get this float to seal. So you see we're running the two-stroke mix just because that's what I had conveniently, but yeah, fuel's on right now. It's not spilling over like it was. Yeah, the exhaust bolt completely loose. Okay, I'm gonna go through, snug all these down, and we'll see what that does. Oh no, that was stripped. Let me get a longer one in there, right? How about the rear? Yep, that's loose too. They're all loose. Doesn't help that I had the PCV hose off too. Vacuum leaks galore. And just stripped a little bit. That's M10 by 125. I have something just a touch longer in here. Like that one. Boom. I got those all snugged down, but still was a little gap up here, so I used a silly putty on it. Now this carburetor is mounted to the exhaust, so I think there's just an alignment issue going on there. Maybe somebody connected the two together before going against the block. I don't know, but it's tightening the bolts just didn't really. It's got to come off, be redone. And pop the top off the carb real quick, and actually not terribly dirty, but then after drying the fuel, I suspect those bottom jets are probably clogged. I'm like, how do you get those out? Oh, they have plugs. I haven't seen that before. And then the emulsion tubes are a little gunked up too. Yes, blocked, rock solid. Poke those out, jam them back in, see what it does. There it is. That's hitting all four, but still got a vacuum leak there. So when I corrected a little bit underneath with some more silly putty and silicone, but that's it. And we don't want to overheat her without a radiator. Now you heard when it was revving, that's a little four banger. I don't want to annoy my neighbors anymore either with the straight pipe. Well, I guess I could close the door and like a top. Now it was only hitting all four momentarily there a couple times, otherwise it was three, but I think that's just that intake leak. That's a solid running 18R. So at this point, I have somebody coming tomorrow to see this car. I'm gonna stay firm at the $750. $750, you're out of your mind. Because if it doesn't sell for that, I'll pull this engine, trans, rear end, and I'll get probably easily double in parts. I'd rather just sell it one piece though. I'll update the description down below if and when it sells. As always, I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in and the overwhelming support with the merch orders at NoNonsenseKnowHow.com. All that kind of stuff helps out huge. Also, watch out for the scammers. There's been all these fake Facebook accounts being made, and some of the names of the accounts, like I don't even know why Facebook allows them to make the accounts. It's like, hey, contact me on Telegram or I have a private message for you. That's not me. I would never do that. If the only thing I have on Facebook and Instagram, I now have that blue check mark, and you have to pay like $200 some a year to have that check mark. But I got it because there's just so many fake accounts, and Facebook's really bad about pulling these accounts down. Like I report them and they don't seem to pull them down. So I don't know. They're all scammers, okay? If you don't see the blue check mark here on YouTube or there, it ain't me. And if you're unsure, just it's fake. I'm not giving away cars and stuff.